My name is Anthony Dinova. I own Winter Park Events LLC. I'm a real estate agent and I invest in properties and I flip homes. Working at this company, making 50 phone calls a day, like literally boiler room phone calls every day. I hated my life and I was like so down on my luck because, you know, I was in the Marine Corps for 6 years. I was Marine in the quarter. I had gotten meritoriously promoted to sergeant and I was like, this is not where my life should have ended up. You know, I'm a loser right now. And I feel almost like every entrepreneur really should come down to this level where they're just like ground zero. Because when they're at ground zero, that's when all the magic happens. I was really down on my luck, so I started this event company called Winter Park Events. I was like, what do I gotta do to replace my job? So what I did was, as I worked for a full year almost, hating my job. I mean, I completely hated it. And I decided to start my company at the same time. After a year went by, I quit my job. To any other entrepreneur that is like interested in understanding how much they're worth, I got something to tell you. The employer wouldn't be paying you $50,000 a year if you weren't making them more than 50. Otherwise, you wouldn't have a job. I took it full time. I grew it to 35,000. Next year is 65. And before you know it, in my third or fourth year, I think I grossed almost $100,000. And I was left like, kind of like, you know, I've done a lot in the event business, it's good. I want to try something different. I want to move into something that's a little bit different. And I said, I really like real estate. So I got my title insurance license, realized I don't really want to be in title insurance, but I do like real estate. So then I went and got my real estate license. At the time, I didn't know if I wanted to be a realtor. I just wanted to really flip homes. I didn't know if I was going to use it. I kicked it off. From the time that I made my first sale in real estate, I made over a six-figure income on that 12-month rolling period. And just helping people find homes, buy homes, sell their homes. I did exceptionally well, but you know what? It was that grit, that hustle, that determination that you have to have as an entrepreneur. So I was lucky enough for a few people to give me a shot. And before you know it, one sale led to another. I've sold over 20 homes since. So this was gonna be my house. I ended up buying this for myself, but ended up flipping it and selling it. I bought it for $385 and I sold it for $440. Now you might ask yourself, well, that's a lot of money, right? But how do you get so successful in terms of understanding and knowing the market, knowing the price, knowing when to buy, knowing when to sell? I will tell you this, you have to understand, you have to know your, you know, whatever your craft is, you have to know it like the back of your hand. So for example, if you see behind me right here, that house was purchased from a friend of mine, from somebody I knew, but I didn't know him at the time. What I did know though is that he bought it for $385, and I knew that both lots were essentially the same size. So I said to myself, if that was bought for $385, you know, 2 years ago, then technically maybe I can come in and secure and acquire this property for the same amount. Well, here's the big catch. Here is the biggest thing I can tell any entrepreneur out there. I actually tried to secure this like the end of December. So while everybody was Christmas shopping, I was thinking, how can I acquire this property for probably $25,000 less than what it's worth? And it's because I knew that that lot was sold prior 2 years ago for $385. You don't have that knowledge unless you're actually knowing your game, knowing your craft. You have to know your craft better than everybody out there. And I'm not perfect. There's people way better than me. But what I did know is I knew this Winter Park market probably better, just as good as anybody else. Is there a time in my life where I had to stand up against the mirror and really figure out who I was, what I wanted to do in my life, where I was going? And I'll be honest, I was $75,000 in debt. I had over $25,000 in credit card debt. I had a student loan that was over 30 at the time. And I had a car loan on this Infiniti G37 that I bought. So I completely was like at bottom's end. I was like, okay, I don't know how to make my next bill. I don't know what I'm doing all the things wrong, right? So at that moment, I was like, I was this huge success in the Marine Corps, but now I'm a big loser right now. I was ground zero for me. I was so disgusted with myself and where I went with my life that there was nowhere else to go but up. I was eating ramen noodles and peanut butter and jelly, working 70, 80 hours a week, trying to figure it out. And there would be nights I couldn't sleep for 2 hours. I had heartburn, my diet was all messed up. You need to pick yourself up out of that hole and grow. Nobody else will help you.